Hey, Cece. Good. I'm glad that we're good. Um, Hopefully, I don't know where I froze up, Cece, but um, I was answering your question about wheelchair accessibility. I'd mentioned that Port Orleans Riverside and Old Key West do not have elevators in some of the buildings. So if you make reservations there, you want to make sure that you indicate that you need a handicap accessible room. I was talking about Caribbean Beach Resort that none of their buildings have elevators. So you need to make sure you ask for a first floor room if you stay there. All of the other resorts across Walt Disney World have elevators in their buildings, so not necessarily that you have to ask for first floor. You certainly can, and they will do all they can to accommodate. But if you're staying in a building that has no elevator, you absolutely need to make sure you have a first floor room. So hopefully that helps. I was ready to get into CC your second question. It's actually the last question we have for the evening, and I want to read it, but I want everybody that's on to help with thoughts that you have on feedback or ideas to help her with her question, because I think it's a great question. But I'm afraid to ask it real quick. Let me see here. Okay. I'll get a message that says something about the signal, but I got nothing this time. So I had no idea until I looked up and saw that I only had 2 people left, and then I saw a couple of comments about freezing up. So let me ask Cece's question again. If you're on and you're hearing me, I would love for your feedback or comments or thoughts on ways that she can maybe do what she's asking here, because I think it's a great question. It's a fun, interactive question. So Cece is asked, she might surprise her adult friend with a Disney trip. I assume that's not me, Cece, because that would kind of spoil the surprise already. But again, she might surprise her adult friend with a Disney trip. How do I give subtle hints? Yeah, Jessica, I don't know what happened, why that happened. So I'm going to put the question in the chat for anybody who's joining here now. I might surprise my adult friend Disney trip. How do I give subtle? Okay, so there's the question. Anybody have thoughts, ideas, suggestions? Could be, off the top of your head, fly by the seat of your pants, whatever you might think of to come up with an idea or possibility. I have a number of different things written down. Ooh, nice one, Jessica. I did not have that one written down. Cute pins. Hi, Ronnie. So, Ronnie, can you see in the chat? I put a question in the chat so people could read. This is Cece's last question. So I'm asking everybody for thoughts, ideas, wild notions on how she could possibly do that. Hey, Tony. Ronnie's going to mull it over. That's 2 words, mull it over, not mullet over. Wish Upon Magic is a good suggestion, Jessica with stickers. So, Cece, here are some of the things that I wrote down, and guys, keep throwing them out there. I'm sure the more suggestions that we can give Cece, the better it will be for her with that opportunity. Oh, last minute company sewer cleaning. Well, have your company provide their feedback, Ronnie. Come on, we're all friends here. So, Cece, you could mention a Disney movie and start a conversation that way. If they know it's a trip but not the destination, you could make them a fake passport. Maybe include the Epcot countries in that fake passport, or the different lands at Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios, for instance. You could mail them an invitation as the final clue, which is kind of clever. You can talk about Disney characters. Um, you could wear a Disney shirt and subtly say, how cool would it be to be at Disney wearing matching shirts, and see how they react. You could do a scavenger hunt is another option. You could get a live streamer to announce it. Of course, you would both have to be on the live for it to be kind of exciting and fun. The streamer could do something like, I have an announcement. I've been asked to announce that, state the person's name, we'll be going to Walt Disney World with CC. If you know a live streamer that would do that sort of thing. But those are some of the ideas that I jotted down, CC. But yeah, you guys keep coming if you have any other ideas. Build a Friends Date countdown to Mystery Getaway. Oh, I like that. That's cool. Jessica, they're hard to find, the live streamers. Okay, Cece, that was your last question. Jessica, I hit yours and I hit Helen's. So keep coming. Ronnie, we're going to hold you to you're mulling it over. Far and fewer on these parts, exactly. Cece, those help? I mean, we have to wait for Ronnie's ideas still, but hopefully that at least gives you some flavor of options to consider. Ooh, start drawing Mickey ears in random places. Mickey pancakes. Now I'm hungry. Awesome. Those are fun. I love the question, Cece. Thank you for asking that. Prepare a Disney feast menu. Ooh. That would include popcorn, pretzels, and turkey legs, right, Jessica? Or for you, it'd be turkey legs and pickles. Ugh. Just ruined the turkey leg for me. Okay, let's go into some news. And then I want to talk about Southwest Airlines and the value resorts. And then I have the DVC price examples. I can't remember who asked that last week. If you guys can remember, certainly put it in the chat. But hopefully they will catch the replay if they're not on tonight. With anything, guys, the news that I announce. Oh, I like that, Le Mans. That's a good one. If they could design their own Magic Band, that's pretty cool. Ugh, a quart of pickles. Ugh, gosh. I would have to be taken to the hospital. There's no doubt about it. So anyway, some of the news that I share comes out over the course of the last time we talked till tonight. So some of this you might know, but I like to bring it up anyway. Disney announced yesterday, kind of like low-key, no really heads up it's coming type of thing, but they announced yesterday that Test Track will reopen on July 22nd. So again, those of us that will be there in November, we will get to enjoy the Test Track 3.0. I've seen a couple of clips from some of the Imagineers. It looks amazing. I'm excited for it. The Boneyard in Animal Kingdom, if you've ever been there, that's a children's play area. There's some slides, dinosaur stuff in there, what have you. The Boneyard will be closing. Its last day of operation is September 1st. So it's going to go bye-bye. However, Disney has promised a new play area will be coming. I imagine it will be Encanto themed or Central America's themed, but we will lose the Boneyard and eventually get a new play area. Jim Henson Company made an announcement that Muppet Vision 3D, the show at Hollywood Studios that just closed a couple weeks ago, they do plan on having it return in some form of virtual reality. What that means and all that, I don't know, but they've shared that that's their intention, is to bring it back in some form of virtual reality. Park closures. We'll start with the negatives, and then we'll do park opening or ride openings, not park closures, ride closures, and then ride openings. I mentioned Boneyard closing on September 2nd. At Animal Kingdom as well, the dinosaur ride will likely close in January of 2026. It is expected to stay open through the end of 2025. So again, those of us there in November, if you're hitting up Animal Kingdom, you'll be able to ride Dinosaur one last time. And then again, I mentioned the Boneyard. Dinosaur is closing. They're going to retheme it as an Indiana Jones ride. It will not be the same as the one in Disneyland. So if you've been to Disneyland and you assume that's what you're going to get, it's supposed to be something completely different and unique from Disneyland's. Over at Magic Kingdom, the Astro Orbiter, which is the ride up above the People Mover, there's an elevator that you take to get up there to ride it. It's been closed for the last several months as they're doing maintenance on it. It is scheduled to reopen sometime late summer. I interpret late summer to mean August. I suppose it could mean as late as early September, but keep that in mind. It's been closed. It will still be closed for at least another month or two, I'd imagine. Big Thunder Mountain has been closed since January. It will remain closed until 2026. There's speculation as to when it might open, sometime mid-January, but no promise there yet. And then Buzz Lightyear at Magic Kingdom is closing in August of this year. Speculation is that it would close around August 11th. And that's solely speculation based on that's when Florida schools go back to school. So they're thinking that Buzz Lightyear will close then. It will be closed until sometime in 2026. They're doing a massive maintenance, refurbishment. The laser guns that are fixed to the ride will be on cords, so you're more mobile with them. The targets will be probably more modern. I mean, that ride is, I think it's like 20 years old, 25 years old. It's much older than I realized. So the targets will be new and improved. The scenery will be new and improved. Yeah, Jessica, I'm sad that it'll be closed then as well. But when it does reopen, I think it's going to be spectacular. Still at Magic Kingdom, the Hall of Presidents has been closed. I think at least since January, maybe since November of last year. Not uncommon for it to close at or shortly after elections because you have a new president come in. It's the Hall of Presidents. However, it's been closed now for 6+ months, and there's speculation that they may go ahead and retheme that completely, trying to extricate them away from some of the vitriol that politics are today, and maybe having it a little more just overall park friendly. 100% speculation. It's been rumored that maybe the Muppets will do a show in there that would still be based on American history. It could even be based on the presidents, but maybe a little more satire. Think about the two older gentlemen that sit up in the booth there at Hollywood Studios that may be doing something like that. Could be a possibility. And then lastly, two last things at Magic Kingdom. July 6th is the last day for Liberty Square Boat and Tom Sawyer Island. They will be closing permanently on July 7th. So last day is less than a month now. What is today's date? Today's the 18th, so 12. You got 18 days left. And then on July 7th, the very next day, the train will no longer make a full loop around Magic Kingdom. It is essentially going to do shuttle service from the Main Street station in the opposite direction through Tomorrowland to the Fantasyland station, and then it will come back. So shuttle service back and forth. It will be that way at least until sometime in 2026, and maybe even to 2027 while they're doing the Villains Land and Cars Land and all of that work back in Frontierland. They need to basically shut the train down in that area. Yeah, Jessica, about Hall of Presidents, I get it. I think it's sad because I think if you look at the show from American history perspective, it should be less about which side of the aisle you sit on and just more about the great, and in some cases not so great, men that have been bestowed upon the responsibility of being the president of the United States. And they're freaking animatronics. I mean, it's not like the actual presidents are standing up there talking to us, but to each their own. I would be absolutely in love with a Muppet show. So I'd be okay if that's what happened. No, Jessica. So the train is going to just shuttle back and forth on the track from Frontierland. I'm sorry, from uh, Fantasyland to the front of the park at the Main Street train station. It's just going to shuttle back and forth. That loop around back behind Big Thunder Mountain, all of that is going to be shut down back there because they're going to be moving a lot of dirt, doing a lot of work. My guess is the train track itself might be relocated in some places, but this is very similar to what they did with Tron when they were building Tron, although then they just shut the train down completely. They didn't even do shuttle service. So I guess it's better than not having a train whatsoever, which was the case as they did Tron. Ronnie, thank you for putting the Discord link in there. I appreciate that very much. Okay, Hollywood Studios Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith will stay open through the end of 2025. So, again, any of us there in November, if you're going to be at Hollywood Studios and Rock and Roller Coaster is your jam, you will want to make sure you catch it one last time. It will be closing down forever, as starting with Aerosmith in early 2026. We'll talk about openings here in a little bit. Yeah. So Jessica, last time we were there a couple weeks ago, we ran out of time to ride the train. So I'm excited to ride it. Absolutely. It's so nostalgic. The last ride closure that Disney has pre-announced, if you will, and this is important if you're going in January, the Skyliner, the mode of transportation from Art of Animation and Pop Century over to the Caribbean Beach Resort, onto Hollywood Studios, or onto Epcot through Riviera. The Skyliner will be closed for refurbishment January 25th through January 31st. That's not uncommon for them to close it for about a week's time in January each year so they can do maintenance on it. You think about how much that thing runs. I think I shared last week, since it opened in 2019, it's traveled over 24 million miles already, which is staggering. So that will be closing down. Ride openings. I mentioned it already, but Test Track will open July 22nd. Can't wait to see and do that. In this one, I hate the time. Late November. For those of us that are going to be there for Park Life Party, we're going to likely miss it. Late November, the new show, which is inside the theater underneath the Tree of Life at Animal Kingdom, Zootopia Better Zoogether, is scheduled to open late November. The speculation there, late November, probably would be Thanksgiving weekend. Hey, Jill, how are you? So, Jill, we were just talking about that. Hall of Presidents, there is no reopening date. It's not uncommon for Hall of Presidents to close with each election, with a new president coming in anyway. However, this has been a much longer closure than past election cycle years. So there's wild speculation that they're actually not just doing refurb, but they're going to essentially replace the traditional Hall of Presidents. And the speculation is that they may replace it with a Muppet show that's still political / presidential in nature, but a more comical Muppet style show of it. I think what Disney, if they're doing that, and it's speculation at this point, but if they're doing it, I think the idea is to try to separate or extricate themselves from the world of politics that we live in today. I understand it. I'm a traditionalist. I love the Hall of Presidents. First off, it's nice air conditioning, comfortable theater, but just to hear the history of our presidents, I enjoy that sort of thing. So anyway, that's the speculation, Jill. But if it's staying as is, there's been no announcement of a reopening date, which tells me we're still some ways off before that happens. Tropical Americas, which is replacing Dinoland, is scheduled to open sometime in 2027. It seems as though Disney is really kind of fast tracking that work. Prime example, the Boneyard that is closing on September 1st, that was originally announced to stay open through the end of the year. So there's thought that maybe they're moving a little faster than they anticipated, so they can extradite that work as well, or expedite that work as well.